Hello! 100 subscribers. We've hit a milestone, and we are happy about it.
Yes.
We're going to celebrate today by making some treats.
For our puppies.
Oh, for the puppies.
Yes, for the puppies.
Well, that's okay. They deserve them, so we're going to make them for the puppies.
Yes, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing. And we've actually, I think it was last count, 103. So thank you so much. And to celebrate, we are going to make some treats. However, they're going to be for our dogs. But the nice thing is if you want, you can try a little piece yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
All human grade ingredients. Would be no problem to eat it yourself.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank our son and his wife. They're the ones that originally gave me the cookie cutters for the dog treats, and turned us on to the notion of creating such things.
Okay, now I'm going to use what's called a broth base. It's similar to bouillon, but it's more like granules or powder in this case. So you can also use broth that comes canned if you would so prefer. So we'll just use a little bit of this. I'm just going to pat it down a little bit. If I get a little extra flavoring in there, I'm not real upset by that. I'm also going to pour, I don't know if I said hot water or not, but we want to use hot water when you're mixing this, because then if you don't, then it won't dissolve. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more, make it a little bit more flavorful for the dogs. So there we are. So after this, I'm going to move this out of the way. And we are going to take 2.5 cups of flour. It's been pre-measured here, so I'm just going to pour that in here. And then I'm going to add the chicken broth here. I'm going to mix that. And I'm going to start out with a fork and see what happens here. I don't really like getting all gooey and messy, but it's only for a few minutes and it'll wash off if need be, so it's not too bad. So I always remove all my jewelry, which I don't wear a lot anyways, but there we go. So now we're going to add 1 egg that we've beaten slightly. In my case, I always beat it pretty good. They stay slightly, but it doesn't really matter. So there's that. Now this is the ingredients right here. Easy peasy. Okay, so I'm mixing the mixture of flour, chicken broth, water, and egg all in here, and we're going to form it into a ball. So this you might have to play with, and because I always have had to play with this, you have to play with the texture between the water and the flour. So if you get too much flour, you might need a little bit more water, and vice versa. So the next thing you want to do is you want to put it into a little ball. And then we're going to take this little ball and move it to our work surface, which is covered with a little bit of flour here. And we're just going to push this dough down.
And you prepped it with some press and seal.
My assistant was excellent and prepped my workspace with some press and seal. So when you're in an RV, sometimes you have to be a little bit more original with your ideas of, you know, how to save space and how to utilize the space you have. So, and with that said, I don't use a rolling pin a lot, but for that reason, I'm just going to, it's going to make my life a little easier if I use something to roll this out with. So, I'm just going to use this and roll it down to, I think, about 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. However you like your treats, how thick you would like them to be is how thick you want and how thick you can roll it out. We have different sizes. These small ones, they are nice for something that, if you bake the smaller ones, it's gonna probably bake into nothing. So I like the larger shapes. So we'll just do this. Now we're going to transfer this over to a prepared pan that's been greased lightly with, I just used some Pam, and you can grease it again with whatever you wish. You can use parchment paper. And then you bake it 20 to 25 minutes or until crispy.
While she does this, I'll tell you that once it's completed, whatever the dogs don't eat that day, you can store it in an airtight container, either in the refrigerator or the freezer. Chicken biscuit.
There is a cracker. You got chicken in a biscuit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor of Chicken in a Biscuit. Alright, so there's our first batch. And in they go. So we're going to set it for 20 minutes. You know, I'm going to do 15 just to start out. I don't want to burn them or anything. So our biscuits are finished baking. And here they are. These were a little thicker than what the recipe calls for. These are not so crispy, but our Luna prefers a little chewier bone. Hi guys! Here you go. Looky there. Looky there. There's, oh boy. I know.
Seal of approval.
Definitely. Astro loves it. Luna loves it. There. All right.
Two happy dogs.
If you're enjoying this video, just leave us a comment and we'll share other videos with additional recipes that we have. When the kids were small, and I'm talking a few years back, not that many years back, but a few years back, we would have time with our kids during snow days. It was just wonderful, especially the snow days, because I would bake cookies with the children and it was so much fun. I loved baking for them. It's caught up with me now, but I still love to bake.
Good cook.
Kids. Thank you. I love to bake. I love to cook. So now that we have an empty house, so far as the children are concerned, but we have our 2 fur babies, I love to bake for them as well.
They will also live longer with good, healthy treats, and they will actually enjoy them a little bit better than the store-bought stuff if you're doing it correctly.
Yes. Yeah. So the next recipe up is the sit for peanut butter cookies. And the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350. Going to bake and hit 350 and start. Okay. Then we're going to move over here to the work area where, again, my trusty assistant has already helped me by preparing my ingredients. So in a large bowl, we're going to take all the wet ingredients and put them in here first. So we have 1 egg. I'm going to put that in there. And I like to try to get as much as I can. Should probably use a spatula. I've got a spatula there. We'll go ahead and put, you know what, I'll go ahead and put 3/4 cup of milk in here as well. So then we have, I'm going to move this over here. We have 1 cup of peanut butter, which I'm just taking it right out of that jar right there. I'm just going to use this spatula for removing it. And it's sticking there to the side really well. Now we're going to go to the honey, which I hadn't forgot this. I was just moving on a little slower, I guess. But this comes out kind of slow. So you can use any type of honey that you have on hand. I'm just going to mix this a little bit. I usually have a different mixing tool. it gave it up the other day. So we're going to mix this up here. Let's mix the wet ingredients together. It's good and soupy. Okay, so now we got a peanut butter soup here. So over here now we have 2.5 cups of flour, and we have 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We're going to mix those 2 items together, and then we're going to incorporate that into the peanut butter mixture. So we've got our baking powder in here. I'm just mixing that in there. Going to put this in a little bit at a time.
Need help?
I'm good. Thank you so much for offering. I am no Julia Child or whomever was popular at the time. Julia Child might be dating myself right now.
Might be dating to the 1800s.
She might not appreciate that if she were here to hear it. But it's still fun, and you can still learn, and the more you go,
love them.
yes, and the more you do it, the more, you know, the more practice, the better you'll become. And that's including me. So, oh, it smells really good. Yes, he does. I suppose I could probably put that little bit left in there, but again, I'm afraid I don't want to get it too dry.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is looking pretty good. And this is where I would appreciate my mixer, because this dough is getting rather thick.
Oh, I'm happy to help.
You know, I appreciate that. I've got just a little bit more to go.
That smells good.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like peanut butter cookies.
We'll have to try them when they're finished.
Some smell-o-vision.
Yeah. All right. Oh, well, we are done with the flour, and I'm just going to mix the rest of this by hand. I like it this consistency. It's easy to work with. It's not sticking to anything. So then you want to roll the dough. You're ready to roll the dough into little 1-inch balls, maybe 1.5-inch balls, and you want to place them on a prepared greased cookie sheet. I just use this. What's that? Are you wanting to help? Let's see. That's nice. You're doing a wonderful job. So we're taking the dough that we've rolled into balls, and we're putting crisscross markings in it with a fork, just like we would if they were for us. Which
Regular flour.
Yeah, it's just regular flour, and we can use that, and we can also. This is really no different than anything that we would eat as people, humans. And look how much dough that makes. You can freeze these, make them up and freeze them. So, right here, all told, this will make 2 to 3 dozen cookies. So you'll have plenty if you just have one dog. If you have a couple, might have to double up on it. I don't know. All right, then you want to bake them for 10 minutes or until the desired doneness. Okay, so our next batch of goodies are complete. We're gonna get the little peanut butter cookies out. Let's see. Yeah, they look good. They look done. So, guys, you're gonna love this. Okay, so I'm gonna let them cool off, and then we're gonna show you all how much the dogs like them, and hopefully yours will as well. All right, guys. Astro, Luna, sit. Sit. Oh, that's close enough. There you go.
Perfect.
There, was that so good? Let us know how your treats turn out if you do use them.
I want to thank everybody for watching this video from the bottom of my heart.
And mine as well.
I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate the subscribers. I think it's a fantastic milestone to hit, and I can't be more happy.
Thank you so much.
Thank everybody so much, and we will see you next week. So now we're going to try this out with Luna, see what she thinks. We've got the biscuit.
Goodness, and I've broken.
She's a very picky eater. Oh, that tail's going.
Yeah, and it's.
She is really enjoying it.